Okay, Mr. Baker, the going down the 5 points that you had, the second one is that all communities are not treated the same here. Detroit only pays into the system what they actually collect, and you said there's something like 30,000 ratepayers right now who are delinquent. I would guess we have something like 50,000 ratepayers in all of Sterling Heights, you know, in that ballpark. We're paying $90 million more to get the same exact thing. Does that number include an estimate for what the deficiency and what Detroit is not going to be paying into the system that all the other communities will be?
Their current uncollectibles are $60 million for the city of Detroit. That's how much bad debt expense they booked last year. So I wished it would have been, you know, had we tied so that they had to pay higher rates to pay for that cash shortfall, I thought that would have been the way to structure the deal. So it puts the burden on them to really, you know, unfortunately increase the shutoffs, get payments, but that's not the way it is. They've technically set up now a reserve fund, which they say will help to offset some of their bad debts. But it's way too little. It's $7 million the first year out of $60 million. So it's way too short. And in effect, they're using our lease payment to backstop that $7 million. So in effect, they're not, you know, their general fund's not backstopping it, or their bankruptcy savings aren't. So yeah, the you know, despite the shutoffs, I think it was $60 million last year in terms of bad debt expense, and it's $6 million this year. So despite the shutoffs, that hasn't improved.
Okay.
But ultimately, the burden they say is on them. But ultimately, if you don't get the cash, cash is king. If you don't get the cash, the burden's on the system. All of us.
Detroit's appointees, are they mayoral appointees?
Correct.
Not city council appointees?
Correct.
Both of them, both mayoral appointees?
I believe that's the case.
Okay, and can you expand a little bit more on the $25 million problem with Highland Park? Highland Park just simply isn't paying. The state's not doing anything about it. Every other rate-paying customer is picking up that slack. Is that fairly?
Suburbs, correct. So they, Highland Park, it's a city of 10,000 individuals. A lot of it is on the city administration. They aren't even billing some of their customers. So, you know, it's hard to pay if you're not billing, at least. They've put some effort into trying to get their billing system up and running, but I think someone said it'd be like $6,000–7,000 per person, you know, to pay that amount off, or per household to pay that off. So we believed, you know, we came in at the state's request. They had emergency managers could have solved it, and yet at the end of the day, they kicked the can down the road and didn't. That's still an outstanding issue.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's all the questions I have. It certainly seems like the city of Detroit is getting absolutely everything it wants at the expense of all of its customers, and I don't think that's a particularly good way to run a business. You don't run a business that way, and that's why it's set up to really give it to the ratepayers, which are us. So thank you for that presentation, and we do appreciate it.